We all get consumed by something. Music, film, a good book, perhaps even that new healthy lifestyle. On Consumed, we talk to people about what's consuming them. So, let's get consumed. And welcome to Consumed. This week, we're going to be consuming Aucoin. Hello, Al. How are you?
Hello. I'm doing very well, Alex. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How do we know each other?
We know each other, I think, by like galaxies bringing us together. I think we are soulmates in another life, Alex. But we know each other because our much better halves are very good friends. So that's brought us together. So Amy and Olivia are great friends. And yeah, that's how we met. I don't even know how many years ago it's been now, Alex.
I mean, I've been with
No,
Amy.
way over 5, maybe pushing 8, 10.
I've been with
something
Amy
like that.
12 years. So
Okay.
I've been up
Okay.
in Harrogate 10 this year.
It's probably 10 years then, I'm assuming,
Yeah.
unless we met a couple times. But yeah,
Yeah.
so 10 years, dude. That's
Opened that
crazy.
cinema in September 2016.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, so that long. It's kind of like the second wave of the kind of friends, but it's awesome.
Yeah.
What's crazy is been that long.
I've realized when I've been asking people that question, I've always responded with yeah, that's right. Like I'm testing them on it.
Yeah.
But that is
I'm
correct.
assuming
That is all
I must be
correct.
one of the newer ones, though, I guess. Maybe, give or
To
take.
come on the
Something like that.
podcast.
Yeah, to be on
Yeah.
the podcast? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. So yeah, I had a friend on from the cinema, Haley, that used to work there,
Okay.
and she was the first friend from that I made up north that came on.
Right. Cool.
And then there was
Yeah,
Susie
cool.
was on, but I knew Susie from London
Oh,
because
there you go.
she
Yeah,
lived
there you
with
go.
Amy. So yeah, we knew that.
Yeah.
But
Oh, I've seen all the phases of your lives.
well, that's it.
Mhm.
Do you know what? Time is crazy because I was washing up before doing this, and I was thinking because my friend from my old band from when we were teenagers had messaged saying he was in Liverpool, and I was like, oh, he came to see me one time when I was in Liverpool, and I was like,
Okay.
man, Liverpool seemed like a big part of my life, and I realized I lived there from July 2008 to October 2008. It's like 4 months. It's like nothing. And I was just like, man, time is weird because
Impressionable man.
I was like in my hometown playing in my funk rock band, and then 10 years
Yeah.
later I was moving up to Harrogate, and I'd lived in New Zealand, I'd lived in London, Manchester, played in different
Yep.
bands, had loads of
Yep.
different jobs, all that kind of stuff, traveled. And then I've spent the same amount of time just in Harrogate, and it's just like, what? It's like, how, is it just because, but then I look back and loads of stuff has happened. I've got 2 kids, a
Yep.
house, didn't have those things before. But sometimes time just fries my brain.
Wild man.
I've got the most important question straight up. What did
Go
you have
ahead.
for dinner?
I expected this question because I am an avid podcast listener. So every week, don't miss an episode. What did I have for dinner? So I had an appetizer, which was quite nice. I had a gourmet chicken nugget. That was the leftovers from my 2 eldest daughters' tea that I made for them. So that was my appetizer. And then the main meal tonight was steak with a baked potato and greens. It's nice. And now I'm not a big baked potato guy, but I know my wife Olivia is, and I made it especially for her. Now I'm a big steak guy, and I made it for her. So there you go. I'm the best. So
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
it was great. Steak and baked potato.
I
Yep.
often have baked potatoes for my
So, yeah.
lunch. Yeah, because I can't eat gluten. Well, I shouldn't eat gluten because it makes my
Okay.
stomach bad. I often have
Yep.
just bang it in the microwave, 10 minutes, and
Yeah.
then oven on
Yeah.
high, 10 minutes, boosh, like potato.
Okay. Guess it's done. I
Yeah,
never. Oh yeah, you can said baked potato. That let the cat out of the bag as well. Yeah, I never have them. No, you know what? I enjoyed it tonight, so maybe I'll add it to the repertoire a little more. Yeah, it was good.
So what have you been consuming recently?
Oh man, again, I knew that question was coming, and I thought about it, and I don't even know what's the answer to that question. It's like kids, which is great because like listening to podcasts, it's amazing to hear other people like with their kids, which is really cool. Half term, kids, the golf, as we discussed, the last 4 days has been essentially the Masters, in the
What is
evenings.
it? Okay, so we can go golf. We can go sport because I know you're a big sports fan. I feel like
Right?
you follow a team in almost every single sport I can think of. Like
Uh,
you follow.
yeah, pretty well. Not all of them, but probably because I kick off in the North American sports, maybe feels a little bit more like that. And then I've evolved into the British sports as well as
Yeah.
I've been here. But yeah, no, I do. I think people will meet me and go, and you know what? I've been on a pretty excellent run the last couple of years, but have zero championships to show for it. So it seems like it's become this kind of running joke that my teams are cursed or I am cursed. So watch out. Yeah, I've made it to several championship games and series and have lost every one of them over the last couple of years.
Yeah, well, I'm an Arsenal fan, so I can
Neither
feel
am
your
I.
pain. So, what is it we can stop talking about Arsenal. What is it what is it about sport? Like, why what draws you in?
Yeah, like anybody, right? Like it's I grew up with it firstly. So I grew up playing ice hockey and baseball and a little bit of basketball or soccer, really, football. Never American football either, where I grew up. But I don't know, my dad was a phys ed teacher, so that
Alright.
was probably the first thing, right? Like so I grew up he was a French teacher and then he did phys ed for a number of years. So I had the luxury with my brothers and my sister of like we spent the entire time in the gym. So
Yeah,
like he'd be doing lesson plans and we'd be in like fooling around in the gym playing basketball or floor
yeah,
hockey or whatever.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, just like any other kid to be fair. And then you just start to follow all the teams. You know, I didn't really get into American football until I was kind of 12, 13. But like ice hockey and baseball were the big ones when I was a kid. So like any other kid, man, same thing. You grow up with players on your walls and blah blah blah. And then as you get older, I don't know. I don't have any tattoos or any of the teams, right? So I'm not like fanatic, and I don't travel or do anything like that. But yeah, I watch them, and I guess just the pageantry of it all, and the hope that one day they'll win.
yeah.
Which they
That's what gets you, it's
hope
the
they
hope that
never
gets
do.
you.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, with you with Arsenal, I'm sure. Like you follow them and you want them to win, and the
Yeah,
pain of them losing or getting close to winning and then not, or but yeah, it'd be
that's it. I mean, I made that choice. It's funny, I chose to support Arsenal when I was, I don't know, 8 years old, because
Mhm.
I can remember why. Because my mum said my friend was a Man United fan. But
Okay.
I grew up just outside London, so that's not
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
a choice.
Yeah.
But his family was from up near Manchester. But,
Yes. Yeah.
he's actually coming on the podcast in a few weeks, so I can bring that up.
Yeah.
But I think my mum just said, "Why don't you support Arsenal? They're kind of local." And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
This was like
Pretty simple, man.
mid-90s, and we weren't that
Pretty
good at the
simple.
time. But that was it, and I made that choice, and now I can't give it up. Like,
No,
I'm in
welcome
I'm
to
in. As much as
it's
I
crazy
don't
to see
like it.
wow. I don't know, like, it's crazy when you really meet people. I love asking people that question here in England, like, "Why do you support Liverpool?" Or "Why do you" especially when you're, like, down south and people support somebody up north or vice versa, it opens up this window, and probably the most common question is, my dad or my parents or
Mm,
whomever, my grandfather or grandmother supported that team, which is kinda cool, like, they were from Liverpool or they're from Manchester, and you get a whole other dynamic, or you're 8 years old and you just choose, or you're I don't know how old I was, like 20 something, 21, and I chose. Like, it just boom, just like that. You
mm.
just pick a team that's won. Yeah,
Yeah, my dad wasn't really into football. He was a
you know,
rugby guy, but, like,
I
he made
biggest, yeah.
me his dad is Scottish, and so my granddad is Scottish. So he is a big Scotland rugby fan, so he made me support Scotland in the rugby, which I
Yeah,
still
okay.
do. I just don't follow it in
Okay.
the same way. We used to go up to Edinburgh and watch the games at Murrayfield,
You're right, okay.
and, like, it was great. I mean, like, I really enjoyed rugby
Yeah.
when I was a kid, but, like, I watch it now and I'm like, "There's no way I'm playing that." It's just,
Oh
like,
god, no, oh my
absolutely
god, man. I get
yeah.
that a lot when it comes to, like, it's the age-old thing. Rugby is tougher than American football. Like, I'm gonna have to remind people, like, I'm not American, so I'm not gonna be here to justify
Mhm,
the NFL or American sports. But, man, I gotta say, and I probably told you this, like, last year I went to the rugby, and so I went to see them play New Zealand, and I saw the Patriots. I'm a Patriots supporter, NFL, and I saw the Patriots at, Wembley the week after or the week before. There was a week between the 2. And man, I left there pretty undecided as to what was more vicious. But
mm.
like, I probably have to say, and I said this many times to people, the rugby, man, I don't know how you do that for 80 minutes or whatever it is. I actually don't know how you, at least in the NFL, you get a bit of a break.
Mm.
I've seen guys hit each other, and I said, I don't know how they're going to get up. And then they just get up and keep going. Yeah, it's crazy. No,
I think because
no.
I quite like NFL, and, I used to watch it a lot when I worked in bars because I'd come back,
Mhm. Yeah.
working, like 1 in the morning or whatever, 2 in the morning, and I'd turn it on and it'd be on, and I'd be
Mm.
still, awake from work, so could
Yeah,
just,
of
like, wind
course.
down
Of
and watch
course.
it. Used to play Madden on the
Yeah.
PlayStation a lot, so I understood the
Yeah. Yeah.
rules. But the hits are so hard because there's a stoppage, and then they just, like, run really hard at each other, whereas in rugby, it's kind of constant and there's, like, a little break in
Yeah.
play, but it's kind of you're just constantly running around.
Grinds you down, eh? Well, they're just big. They're just big human beings, and, like,
Uh,
you see an NFL player on, like, stand next to them. they're gigantic. And it's not to say that rugby players aren't as well, but like the NFL guys are just 6'5" and they can run, right?
Mm.
And they're just huge. I guess the physicality, I think the hardest hits, and a rugby player would argue against this for sure, but like the hardest hits in the NFL, it's just vicious, man.
Yeah.
You got to remember, like, why it's so dangerous is your brain
Yeah.
bouncing off your skull from that
Yeah.
much velocity.
Yeah.
But then again, you see rugby, some of the hits are pretty heavy too. But I guess I don't know how those rugby players function. That would be the thing, right? Like how you actually function when you get older if you play for 20 years.
Well,
Is
that is
that much
actually a bit of a
grind on you, right?
yeah,
I'm
that
sure it
is
is.
a bit of
Yeah.
a thing at the moment. Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
player called Steve Thompson who has early onset dementia, and
Right. Yeah, yeah, of
he won the
course.
World Cup with England in 2003, and he can't remember
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
anymore. He can't remember winning.
Okay. Yeah, CTE is well, yeah, I know it's but we still watch, unfortunately.
Yeah, we're like, "Oh, just not too hard. Don't hit each other too hard."
Yeah, just slow down a little bit. Yeah, okay, but yeah. Add more games to the schedule. Yes, please.
I should probably clarify to the other listeners who don't know who you are actually that you are Canadian, just in case they were worried.
Yes, just in case they were thinking, wait a second, what is he? Yes, I am. I'm not sure if there's a, yeah, I am. I do get it a lot.
Yeah,
The odd person will say, oh, yeah, you are Canadian because they've got like a brother that lives in Winnipeg or something.
yeah.
But no, I do, where we live near Harrogate. It's quite common for somebody to mistaken me as an American, solely because there's so many Americans around.
Yeah, there is actually a lot of Americans
Yes,
around here because of the base. Yeah,
there
yeah,
is.
yeah. This is
There
true.
is. Yeah.
I'm actually teaching
Yeah.
one to drive at the moment.
Oh,
Don't think yeah,
cool.
I don't think she listens to the podcast, but she might do. I think her son might because I also taught her son. But
Okay.
anyway,
Well, no, I was gonna say it'd be useful on the other side of the road if she ever gets home, but yeah.
so, um, other than, sports, what else have you been consuming over it doesn't necessarily have to be TV, or have you just been watching TV with your kids for the last week?
No. Yeah, no, TV, I think like you see probably come on and be like, "Oh, television." I don't have a series at the moment. I
Mm,
don't have any type of like series that I'm obsessed with right now. Like if you spoke to me a couple of years ago, it'd be all the regular ones, you know what I
mm,
mean? All the normal ones that I love. But at the moment, nothing, man.
yeah.
Nothing. I watch the World at War documentary
Oh.
from the 70s at the moment, which I could probably would be a valid like consumption because I watch it every night. So yeah, there's
The
that.
World at War from
That's
the
what I watch.
1970s, the British the
Documentary.
Second World War one.
British one. It's
Yeah,
fantastic. Yeah,
that's classic.
fantastic. Yeah. I could say Game of Thrones, which I've watched, say Breaking Bad, which I've watched them all. But that one, I watched it previously, but if you've not watched it and you're into the Second World War, it's as good as it gets.
Are you into the Second World War?
I'm into history. I
Yeah.
like studied British history. So people ask me if I use my degree. I say yes, because I live in England. So there you
Yeah,
go.
you need it to get in.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't make me any money, but yeah, I needed to get hit. No, yeah, I'm into history.
Yeah,
The short
nice.
answer is
I always really like that. I was saying to one of my pupils the other day that, because obviously I'm always, when I first meet them, like, "Oh, what you're studying," all that kind of stuff.
yeah, 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 of course.
But I, I'm disappointed that when you get to, like, 14 at my school, you had to either choose geography or history because I absolutely loved
Yeah.
both. Yeah, I had to well, it was just at my school, I don't know if it's just the way the timetable works out, you couldn't do both. And
Okay.
so,
Right.
I chose geography because I love geography, but
Did you?
then I also
Okay.
love history.
Right.
Bit of a shame.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
bit of a tough choice.
Yeah, I know. And also, yeah, anyway, I mean, like, I'm still ruined that I made that choice in 1999.
Still musing about it ever since.
I
Damn
still
the
gets me.
system making me choose. I can't pick up a book, like, get a library card and go read a history right now because I'm just so pained
Yeah, I can't.
by my choice in
I guess
life.
that's all history now.
Oh, okay, good to
And
know.
that
Well,
wasn't just an
you
elaborate setup for
you're
that
the
one-liner there.
no, I'm sure you're the host, man. I'm sure you sat there and said, "Right, get him on history, tell him a story, one
Boo,
line."
we'll go.
Oh, yeah, that's it, man. So that's, music. You know, you and I have a love for music.
Yeah, so
Consume
did you
that
play
every
in a
day.
band when you were younger?
I did play in a band. And you
Yeah.
knew that answer, but I liked that you asked it anyway. But yes, I did play in a band. So very similar to you, man. Like you and I have a when I said you and I like we're in a different galaxy together, that would probably be it. Like back in the day, early like 1999, picking at some little PV guitar or something, right? Like that's we would have been doing that in me in Canada and you in the UK.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, my loft is above me here and my guitars are in there.
Good
That's
man.
how much I
Had a
play
boy.
these days.
Yeah,
But
yeah, well, of course, me too.
yeah, I watched, the Red Hot Chili Pepper documentary recently, and it did
Did you?
make me wanna
Okay.
get my bass out of the loft. I mentioned this last week on the pod. I still have not got
Yeah.
my bass out of the loft. My bass
Okay.
is is still in the loft.
Just get the flea slap, huh? Do it. Why not? Why
Yeah, I
did it make you
should.
want to get it out? Is it just like loving the Chili Peppers and just watching the
Well, I
vibe of
mean,
it all?
I don't really. It made me nostalgic for when I played in a band, I think, more than
Okay.
because it was kind of talking about the early years of like when they were
Yeah.
young and just messing around,
Okay.
and I think that's what I kind of miss from it. I think
Mhm.
the thing with playing the bass as well is that I much prefer playing when I'm playing with other people. Like
Yeah.
when I'm
Yeah.
playing bass at home, I'm like, this could be better.
Yeah. Yeah. We need because the
Boom.
base is the foundation and it's the beat and it's the backbone, but it's awfully tough by itself.
Mm.
Yeah. You don't get much.
Yeah.
I'm not being a bassist, so I don't really know, but yeah, I could see it being a tough gig by yourself.
What did you play? Did you play guitar when you were in your band?
I play the guitar, not very well, um, but I played the guitar in a band. Rhythm guitar I sang a lot, so I sang mostly, probably about 90% of vocals. We were, punk. We called it new school punk, but this is like total was pop punk, early 2000s. We love to get a little bit of ska in there too, not just because we kind of like that style, but
Yeah.
so we weren't the Clash by any stretch, but we were influenced by that kinda you know it. You and I we overlapped with bands of that era, so we
Yeah.
did that more.
Yeah. Do you still listen to any of that stuff now?
I would say I do. Yeah, in some ways. Not as much as obviously I did back then, but, like, maybe every once in a while, I'll fire up one of the old albums. Like, some of my favorite bands I listened to then that are still my favorite bands they'll be on nonstop rotation.
Really? Like who?
But oh, yeah, well, my favorite band is a band called Propagandhi, who are very, very well known. They're like Fat Records, early Fat Records, and then I think they've been on Epitaph for the last number of years. They started up their own label through the ages, and I got into them pretty early, and they're like yeah, I went to see them in Canada last year. Yeah, they're not only my favorite band, but they've also influenced a lot of they call themselves progressive thrash, so it's very highly political band, very motivated by causes, and, like,
Yeah.
that hit me at an age, you're 12, 13, where it's just like, "Okay,
Yeah.
I believe in this too," and whether I believe it all exactly now, but probably the same amount musically, they keep putting out records, so they started in the '80s, and, I'm in Halifax, Nova Scotia, went in September with my buddies, and, like, the main reason I got them to buy me a ticket,
Yeah.
6 months in advance just in case I could get home, and, it was to see family, but man, that show was the real reason, and it
Nice.
was like 2 moments in time coming together, man, and the music held up, you know what I mean? Like, it held up, and it was awesome. Yeah, so as an example of that, I listened to for that long, yeah, to Propaganda. So if anybody's into that type of thrashing music and kind of mix between punk and metal, but has a message, give it a listen. All
Yeah.
to your educated podcast listeners. Only the cream of the crop listen to this, so they probably get into it.
Well, yeah, a lot my friends from school and like my little crew at home, yeah, we were all into. I mean, we still have a metal band that is. Have I told you that before?
Good hope. Don't.
Oh, have I
We
not?
got one right now.
Oh,
No,
right, okay. I can't believe I've not told you this before. So, I'm going to tell
no.
everybody, even though
Tell
most of the
everybody.
band listen to the podcast
Yes.
anyway. So, my friend John, who created the music for this show and also created the little
Yeah.
image of me with the Weezer album,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
he did music production at school and was
Okay.
just good at creating music, and
Yep.
so he's into like metal and stuff like that, and so he would create the music, and then me and my friends, there's 9 of us in total, including John's wife, we used to just get drunk and then record the vocals over the music that he'd already created.
Yes. Okay.
But in later in life, that doesn't happen as much.
Yeah.
Like when we all lived in London, so we would record,
Yeah.
and it would be quite funny because we would go to a practice room under the railway arches in Holloway, and there'll be bands in there, like
That's
10-piece
amazing.
bands coming in with all their things to practice and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
we'd just walk
Yeah.
in with a laptop and a microphone and a case of beer, and there'd be 9 of us, and we would just go in. And so we've got about 10
Just
albums. We're called Needle in the Cross.
needle in the cross.
Needle in the
Great.
Cross. And I mean, it's on Spotify. You can listen to it.
Is it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
How come you've not told me this? Yes, I am
I
going to listen to that.
do not know why I've not told you this already, but here you go. You can find that out just as everybody else
I
does.
think you were waiting for this moment to be able to document, and then the next time I'm on, if I become a regular guest, which I think you and I have discussed, or co-host, regular sit-in host, that's when I can bring it back and be like, "Yeah, listen, I'm going to the discography. I'm on album 6. I can really see how the music's evolving. I can see how your liquor tastes have evolved as well in your vocal kind of harmony. And that's what we're going to do now. That's what it's going to evolve into.
It's interesting that you say it like that because it's actually quite funny because when we first started doing them, the songs were about getting drunk mainly because that's what we were
Yeah.
doing at the time, and now
Okay.
they're not so much. But we haven't. The last time I recorded was a few years ago, and
Yeah,
everybody was
okay.
is still down in London, and so, they had done a few sessions, and normally when we would go record, it would be like, you would go in and there'd be, I don't know, 6 of us at once or whatever, and you would all take turns, and then you'd get your bit, and we'd be scribbling down lyrics, or we might pre-write a song or something like that, or be
Okay.
making it up as we go
Yeah.
along. But when I came down last time to record, John was like, "Oh, I've got a few songs for you to record because you haven't been around for the sessions." I'm like, "Yeah, no problem." But then, like, it was just me for, like, 3 hours. I'm like, normally I get a bit of a respite here. I'm not even a singer. So, like, it was that was quite intense, I was just
Really.
screaming for 3 hours.
And did like the tone of the lyrics, like we like sat there going, okay, I was
No.
woken up last night at 3 a.m. I didn't get any sleep. The kids, we had a
Yeah.
play date and okay, okay, God, I'm ready to go. Is that how it all
I think you'll
evolved?
be surprised with how professional it actually sounds, to be honest,
Oh, no, hey
because
man,
John does a great job, like, mixing
I
it
don't
and
judge.
yeah,
Yeah.
he does a great job
Oh,
doing all that.
send it over. I'll tell the listeners, like get it out there,
Yeah, well,
man. Get
I
the
can link
message
it
on
in
it.
the show.
There you go.
It's quite
I
funny
love it.
because because when if you go on our page on Spotify, it will often say, like, 9 monthly listeners because there's only 9 of us in the band.
Yeah.
But actually, sometimes every now and again, one of the songs will get put on a playlist on Spotify. So, like, all of a
Okay.
sudden, like, we'll have, like,
Okay.
500 plays
Okay.
out of nowhere.
Right. Well,
Um,
listen, this month it's gonna be 10.
so, yeah, so, like, our friendship group, to be honest with you, our friendship group from my home, like, town is kind of based around music anyway, really,
Yeah.
and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Same with me. Like it really was like I was an age like I grew up with music. Like I can't remember a time learning to connect with music. Do you know what I mean? Like it was always in my house. I come from a Celtic music background, so I was kind of always a bit of the not of the stray, but I went off in a different direction. But my brother and my sister are very accomplished fiddle musicians, and my sister is a teacher, and my mother is a piano player and a singer, and my father plays the guitar, fiddle, mandolin. He's a real Celtic and the Acadian culture where I'm from in Nova Scotia, French music. So I grew up with it, right? But then when I got into junior high school, it really when you evolved in and like somebody, and maybe even earlier than that, like, you know what those records are like when you get that record or CD or tape or whatever it was at the time. But yeah, my friendships kind of evolved through the kind of eras of what music we were listening to at the time. And so that once we got to junior high school, it just solidified. That's when we started, like you playing in bands and bringing a couple guys together and kind of seeing if you could you know, make your own tape or make your own CD and
Mm.
print off the album cover and flip it in and be like, "Here you go.
Oh,
Put a
yeah.
sticker on it," and, like, get a website and all that stuff, right? Like
Yeah. That's it, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, website. So funny now, doesn't it? Yeah.
oh, geez, like, ours was like ours so our band was called Face Down, and that's a whole other legal story, which is hilarious. Might have time for it. But we our first site was like facedown.jumptunes.simpatico.ca/ it's like it was like that's what and I remember when we first got the .com and that was like and it was what it was like maybe 2000. So like that was like, whoa, we've made it, right? We've made it here. We got like a .com website.
So what did it was it just facedown.com?
It would have been so let's go back to the aforementioned story where we were served a subpoena to a court in somewhere in Sacramento. We actually had a court date for us to take down assuming I'm getting all this right, but hey, who's in the show? It was facedown.com, and we got a letter from these people in California saying, "Hey, listen, like we've got this name, we are that band, like you've got to take this website down." And we were just kids. We're like, "Yeah, whatever, man." And then we got another one, and they're like, "Yeah, we don't take it down, we have to call the court. Like, we'll set a date to take the damn website down." So then we were trying to go NSYNC style and try to slap an E on the end because we had quite a following at that time. No, I'm just kidding. Well, we did a little bit locally.
Yeah.
And then we ended up changing it, and it was like, so we went to Thrown Aside. So these really hard names, right? Great name though. We went to Thrown Aside, and then we got the .com.
I don't even think we had a website. I mean, my funk rock band in the mid noughties, Zazu, the CD still got I found one in my house the other day.
Did you?
It's just got
Yeah.
it's got my friend's mobile number just written on it, and
Oh, that's the best. That's the
Like,
best
just
part,
like
yeah.
zazumusic@hotmail.com and
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like
Oh, it's
I think
great.
we had MySpace actually at that point. We had MySpace.
We definitely did yeah, we did MySpace too.
Yeah.
We were fortunate. I'm not sure if it was the same for you, but we had a really cool scene. And like by scene, I mean it was something called CB Locals, which is I'm from an island called Cape Breton, and it was obviously Cape Breton Locals. But it was a super great local scene of
Mm,
people just totally independent. And then you just get so you and like we're playing in legions, man. We're playing in like fire halls, but it was great. It was really great. And it was just at that time that I don't know who was kind of running it, but they were really savvy with the internet and they were like savvy with setting up websites. So there's this focal point of like a CB Locals website
mhm.
where all these bands that played everywhere and you did all the promotion and stuff. So like there wasn't a weekend that went by that you didn't have at least two shows happening in kind of the surrounding community. It was great. And like when I look back now, I think how lucky because the identity that we had through that. So it was great in that way. So like that kind of helped us get a website and kind of get a little bit of promotion locally at least, which was super cool.
Yeah. I mean, we pretty much played our local pub. We played a
Okay.
little bit in the
So
town
that's
o the 2
amazing.
towns over,
Okay. Yeah.
but, like, yeah, it was pretty much like our local pub, but, like, man, I'm gonna have to get the guys from the band on, and we'll do, like, a little reunion show.
We
I
should. That'd be
just
cool.
want people to I just want them to try and paint a picture of what that local pub was like in the mid-noughties, because it was
Yeah.
like
Okay.
the kind of the alternative where the, like, alternative people would go, in
Okay.
town, or people it's just like
Right.
where the indie kids would go, I suppose, as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, like, it
Yeah.
just had in that mid-noughties where it played live music, it just had such a great vibe. I got to a point
It
where
sounds like the same type of scene. Sounds like the exact same, just pub for Britain and
yeah.
fire hall for Canada
Well,
in a
no,
lot
we
of ways.
played in, like, we played in those kind of places, though. We played
Yeah.
in,
Okay.
like, people would promote shows and put them on in the
Yep.
local Salvation Army or, where else did we play? Just as, like, a hall down the road from the pub as well that it would play
Yeah.
in,
Yeah.
um, and just all that kind of stuff. But there was a couple of good venues in Luton that we used to play in. The Hat
Yeah. Okay.
Factory. The Hat Factory was a good one. And just the Student Union as well in Luton as well. We played a few
Okay.
gigs there.
Okay.
And so we
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of got to know some bands as well in the area, and we would put on shows with them and stuff like that, and it
Yep.
was a great time,
Yeah.
and again, same thing like I was saying about, how time sometimes just sometime in your mind, it's so long, and then you actually think about how long you were doing it for, and it's actually like a really
Oh my
small.
god.
Yeah, like the
Jeez.
band, I mean, we were together like a year, maybe a little bit more, a year and a half, but
Okay. Okay.
it
We
felt
kicked
bigger.
around for about years, give or take 4 or 5 years. Yeah, it was kinda like university time. That's when it
Mm,
kinda split it up. But there was a and like, listen, man, like, gives any choice, but there was a really small but significant period pre-university that really was a consideration of like, should we just give this a go?
yeah,
And like, and then like, you can hear the music. I loved it. I thought we were great. It was super fun. But there was a very short period where I went, should we just try this for like 6 months and see what we can do with it?
yeah,
And yeah, it worked out in a lot of ways. But yeah, that decision, I remember my folks saying, like, what are you going to do? I gotta like make this. It was odd that it even got that far in
yeah,
some ways, right? Like how improbable it would have been to even because at the end of the day we were playing shows and making. At one point in time we were not paying for anything, which I thought was awesome. Like not have to pay for stuff, like and
yeah,
make enough money to just not have to buy strings or
yeah,
petrol or gas. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like so, yeah. I know. I think you're right, man. It was not a very long time, but such an impressive time, right?
Uh,
Like such an awesome time in life, but to have that bit of community and fun. Also, the buzz. I'm sure you felt the same. Like you play in front of a couple hundred people.
oh,
You
yeah.
do it, somewhat every weekend. Like it, and like yeah, I loved it, and I'm sure it's probably shaped what I do or my personality in a lot of ways too. But like, yeah, it was a super impressionable time, but a fun time to like do that.
I
People that
that
can do it when they're older, it's crazy.
Like, playing live shows and the creative process of creating
Yeah,
songs, like, man, like,
yeah,
that
yeah.
is the best thing, but, like, the other parts of being in a band is the less fun stuff. But, like, it's just, like the buzz from playing a live show is just amazing.
And
Like, it's so
yeah,
good.
you got it, man.
When
You
we
got
were
it.
in London, so basically the band that I played with when I was a teenager, so I had my friend Kieran in it, who was
Okay.
previously on the show, and my friend Nick, who played the drums, who was previously on the show, and my friend Tom, who was on in a few weeks, he played guitar. So we formed another band when I was living in London, but Kieran, he wasn't in it because he was too busy like being a successful actor.
Got to do it.
when we were in London, we kind of we did all right. We were doing okay, rather, but we never quite we probably never did quite as well as we probably should have because we were actually quite good. But we promoted our
Mm,
own show. It was like a bank holiday, whatever, and it was in a place called the Macbeth in Hoxton, and I probably
okay.
held like 100 people or something, maybe a bit more. Anyway, it's sold out and we were headlining our own show and it was just like everybody was there to see us and we would finish a song and
Amazing, man.
the crowd would cheer. It was just like, what? Like no one
It's wild,
normally
man.
knows our songs. Like what's going
It's
on? It
wild.
absolutely blew our mind at that point. Nick, who was on, who played drums, he later though, he still plays drums. He plays in a band called Wings of Desire and they toured last year or the year before. They supported Editors. Do you know Editors?
I don't know.
They probably passed you by because they were a British indie band from the mid
Okay.
noughties, and they
Okay.
probably have a okay following in the UK, but they have like a really big following in like Belgium and like the Netherlands or something
Really?
like that.
Yeah,
And he
it's a
played to 20
wild scene when you get over there.
he paid to 20,000 people supporting. He paid to 20,000 people in Amsterdam, which is just like insane, which is just funny
Good
when
for
you think
them.
about it. But yeah, he said you just
Yeah.
see the lights, but yeah, crazy. But yeah, that moment, that's I think that's where our band peaked because we carried on for a little bit after that, but it was kind of it
Okay.
never really that was where we kind of
Yeah.
hit it, when we put on our own show.
Right.
We tried putting on our own show again and it just wasn't quite the same.
Right. Okay.
Same magic didn't happen. Basically, no one turned up that time, and so
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
that's
the
it. But it was
problem. The
man,
boys
what a buzz.
some
And
of the
I
boys I played with kept going as well. Like they one of my best buddies, John, is a film director, but he kept going and played in a couple really good bands. They toured all over, man. They toured all over Canada, really deep into the US. I feel like they've done Europe as well, but they did really well. So yeah, and a couple of the other guys played, they kept going too. So like I go down the university route, but it was amazing to see them just kind of play kind of into their 20s, right? Like just making a living of it, right? Like
yeah.
well into like their mid 20s doing it. So yeah, and I guess it always ends for most people, but it's really cool.
Did you tell me once that you played with, Rise Against?
Rise Against were on a similar bill, and the show, so it was a very early opener for them. But yeah,
Yeah.
then this was really soon, or a lot earlier that they took off. I don't even think they were on I don't even know if they were on a full label at that time. But yeah, yep, one of the same bills.
Nice. Yeah.
All we talked about those bands like Friends of Rumps,
Friends
Big
or Rump. I
Wigs.
mean, the when I
They're
think
cool.
I can't remember who brought when we were talking before, who brought up Friends or Rump. I think it may have been I think you might have said it, and I was just like,
Mm.
"How that's just like, that's a memory in
So
my brain from,
if
like."
anybody, some people would have said you, because Friends of Rock were like known, they were pretty big. But that was the cool thing about where we were. You get these bands that kind of, you were in London, man, so you would have had the pick of the litter choice to do whatever you wanted, couldn't you? But we just got those smaller bands that just kinda came through, like the Frenzal Romps of the world.
Mm,
And then the Canadian ones, obviously, it was very heavily through the Canadian scene that were kinda
mm.
heading that way. Because again, where I'm from was isolated, man, so if they were touring that far over, they were probably not big enough to have a full tour going somewhere else in a lot of ways, which is, yeah, nature of the beast, but it was still pretty cool because you saw some of those bands that came through.
Yeah. I mean, Friends or Rump, they supported bands that we saw at the Astoria in Tottenham Court Road.
Okay. Yeah,
Um,
that's another
it's like
yeah.
Less Than Jake or Goldfinger, that kind of pop punk kind of
Yeah.
stuff,
Can't
which,
see, yeah,
man,
wish I could see both of those, especially Les and Jake. I
I
love Les and Jake.
believe
Yeah.
Goldfinger are playing at Slam Dunk Festival this year.
Land Dunk Festival this year has a couple of them that are a bit,
Hey, maybe we should
yeah,
go.
on
It's
my
in
mind to go
Leeds.
see. I
We
know,
should
it's
go
like
one year.
something isn't it?
My friends are all
I
going down one down south.
okay. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I looked at it, there was a couple that I saw in there and went, "Man, that is a band I'd love to see 20 years ago, and I'd love to see this year
Yeah.
as well."
I'm gonna get up the because my friends are one of my friends who lives in New Zealand, it's his 40th in the summer and he's coming over, and so that everyone's gonna go. I'm gonna get
Okay.
the festival up here.
Yeah, I'm doing the exact same thing because I wanna find 'cause there was one particular one that I went, "Man, that's who I wanna see," and it would be
Sublime?
the year
Sublime, I didn't even know. A? Do you know A? The band A?
I don't know.
So that was another one that kind of they supported people we were watching. They're a London
There we
band, but
go.
they're like that era, like really like late 90s, early noughties kind of like guitar.
Okay, okay.
It's hard to describe
That
them.
was it. Good Charlotte was there, which I didn't. Good Charlotte did not. I did not. They didn't hit me. It
No,
was
good show.
Alistair. Alistair was a band who are not gonna be built on that big time, but I loved Alistair.
Oh, I never heard of
They
them.
No, they were great. They're great. Goldfinger Beyond there, State Champs is a band that, like, because I'll still hear some of the pop punk bands that come out and, like, even new ones, and I find them on Spotify or anywhere else, and I go, "Yeah, I'll listen to them." And there's
Yeah,
a couple, and State Champs is one that I kind of would listen to and think, "Alright, okay, that's pretty good." Suicide Machines.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Dashboard
never.
Confessional obviously was there, but, and Comeback Kid. Comeback Kid is a band I've seen a few times, actually. They're one that are they I've seen them a few times with Propaganda. They might be from Winnipeg, actually. They might be from Canada. But yeah, good band.
Yeah, we should probably try and go to Slam Dunk sometime.
We should. We should. We should. See if
Yeah,
we can get a year. Taking Back Sunday too. Like Taking Back Sunday,
saw them.
kind of on the periphery. Did you
Yeah,
see them? I've never seen them, but
saw
like,
them, but I saw them at Reading. So like, I'd go to Reading
okay,
Festival every year, a bit like kids going to
okay,
Leeds Festival around here, and
sure.
it's
Yeah,
only
yeah,
that's
yeah.
not far from your house, actually, is it? Um,
It's like I can listen to it every time it's
yeah.
on, and I've never. Because Blink, because like I love Blink, and like Blink, I don't even care to say it, but like Dude Ranch was an album that just hit you at a time where you go, okay, you can make music like this. And when they played, I was like, man, I should probably go to it. I should have, but it was probably the closest chance you're gonna get to see them
I mean,
play in
I
that way.
saw them at Reading. This is the other thing,
Okay.
growing up
Yeah.
down there. I just,
Yeah. Totally.
it was only Reading's only about an hour away from where I grew up, and you would
Okay.
just,
Yeah. That's right.
sometimes I go back and look at those lineups in the. So I went probably
Yeah. Crazy. Eh?
2002, 2003, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and then I think when I went in
Well
2008,
done.
I was like, I'm too old. I'm
Getting a
22.
little.
I'm too old for this festival. I've discovered
Oh my
Glastonbury.
god. It's like, that's the one I see kind of Leeds Fest, people are still I guess they say Leeds Fest is great to bring your kids to some maybe the day or whatever it is, like, there's a good vibe there, but doesn't seem there's any age or there any discrimination against, excuse me, older people going to Leeds. Like, it seems like it's pretty across the board.
Oh, yeah, no, it's just I think when I was 22, it was just kind of like, I think I am too old for this now, do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
I could go back now and not be bothered about it, but it's kind of
Yeah,
like
sure.
the rite of passage when you do your GCSEs
Yeah.
to then go
Yeah.
do that when you're 16 and,
I feel like
well,
people ask me that here, they're like, "Oh, you're gonna let your kids go to Leeds Fest?" And I'm like, my kids are 8. Like, do I need to think about that right now? Like, do I need to start, like, having the conversation, like, preface
you just go with
whether
them.
they're gonna be allowed? Exactly, like, what time they're gonna be allowed or whether no, it's hilarious, but it's cool though, 'cause
A few of my pupils, they just buy, say, like, if Saturday and Sunday tickets, and they go and come
yeah,
home and then go again in the morning. There's
yeah,
no, like, late night and partying and stuff like that.
true.
Anyway, I'm gonna have to move on here because I've got questions to ask you, and we're already 40 minutes in, just chatting about
Go ahead.
sports and music. Oh, yeah, we'll be all good. So, if you were on a desert island, which dessert would you eat first?
I knew this question was coming, so I did have some time to think about it, so I'll do cheat. I feel like you need to give me some context here.
Okay,
That's
so
where my brain's going on this. Like, do I only have 1?
no.
Am I worried about my caloric intake? Am I
It's
worried about,
it's
like, can
basically,
I get more?
what would you
Just
eat first if you were on a desert
oh,
island?
okay.
So,
What would I
like,
eat first?
everything's there, all the desserts you can think
Everything's
of.
there.
Everything's there.
Alright,
All
okay.
the that's it.
Alright.
Everything's there, all the
Okay.
desserts you can think of.
All
It's
desserts I can think of.
Yep, they're all there. Which
Okay,
one are you gonna eat first?
it's gonna be humid, so I'm probably not gonna have a sticky taco pudding, which would be my like, the best thing you can get. I think it's the only reason I moved to Britain is to be able to enjoy sticky taco pudding. I'm going for a nice, refreshing slice of key lime pie.
Oh, key
Or
lime
lemon meringue
pie.
pie. Well, lemon meringue pie would be pretty great too, because 'cause that'd be super refreshing. So, maybe I'll go with lemon meringue.
No, lemon meringue pie. So, key lime pie, that's lime and coconut?
Coconutty type of topping, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, but obviously
yeah,
what's so good
and
about a,
delicious.
lemon meringue?
Oh, lemon meringue, man. Well, it's like meringue, so that's pretty cool, but, like, the lemon is just tart,
It's a
right?
great quote. "Oh,
Like,
that's meringue, that's pretty
oh,
cool."
yeah, pretty cool, man. Yeah, so either or, one or the other, and, like, bowling alley where I grew up had, like, really it was one of those old time bowling alleys, like, with the diner style,
Mm.
and they were known for their key lime.
Oh, man, I mean, that sounds amazing. I mean, I don't even
It
have a
was pretty
local
great.
bowling alley.
No. Oh, this place is like it's a hilarious scene though, right? Like, you have pictures on the wall where you see from, like, the '60s, '50s, or whatever, and there's dust as thick as you can get on it, and then you look over and, like, that dude there, you know what I mean? Like, they just live there, and it's great, but it's an old place, man, yeah, the old Strand bowling alley, Main Street City Mines. If any of your listeners are in town, go and, do some candlestick bowling. anytime you want.
I just think there's nothing like that around here. So if someone opened a bowling alley where, you could get not just key lime pie and lemon meringue, but like, just
Yeah.
like half decent food and you could hang out and it not be like a sweaty bowling alley that is like what you think of in the UK
Yeah.
and it just kind of had a
Yeah.
good vibe, I think it would do really well.
Probably probably do well. This
Yeah.
place did, like, they did the, like, milkshakes in the, like, seal, like, thing that you make them in, and, like, not to be cool, like, they literally that's just what they served them in.
Yeah.
That's what you served it in at that time. But I think you're right, I think there'd be enough people that would, well, no, I don't know, in, like, in the Leeds, like, you're doing sewing, you're doing shuffleboard, you're doing all these sports, like, people like coming together, having a few
Mm,
beers or drinks and doing
mm.
that. I think bowling's a good way to do it. Oh, like, we take our kids bowling, there's a bunch of adults under
Mm.
there bowling.
I don't think
I
we've
mean,
ever played shuffleboard together. I feel like that's you into that?
not, but I would. Yeah.
Have
Somebody
you have
said,
you
"You
ever
wanna play
played it?
shuffleboard?"
Have you ever
Oh, yeah,
played
yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. I was gonna
The
say.
old, dusty wood chips all over, you know what I mean, at the fire station or yeah, the old taverns back in the day where I'm from, it was like cigarettes and shuffleboard, like
Oh,
that's what
right.
people did. Yeah, so, yeah,
Yeah, nice.
yeah.
I could
But
feel
you
like
and
I feel like you, would get really into it.
I would love to play shuffleboard with you sometime. I will accept the invitation if that's what it was. If it wasn't, then that might be a bit awkward, but
No, it's fine.
I'll
It's what
take
you've
it.
made it into. You've invited yourself into the invitation. So if you had a time machine, where would you go?
I know you and your listeners probably just want a simple answer, but it's not a simple question because it's, right. How do I answer this question? I'll give it a couple categories quickly. Like, you got the family piece where
Mm.
you'd like go and see somebody who either isn't with you or like a younger version of your parents or like, so my answer to that would be my grandmother, my mother's mother passed away just a couple months after I was born. And like, she's obviously been in my life and in our lives, but it was just because she saw me in the hospital, and that would be really cool to meet her because she was in the same hospital when I was born, but they took me upstairs to see her. So there's that.
Oh.
There's probably times in like history that'd be cool to see. That'd be like either frightening or amazing, one or the other. Maybe like you would go back to try to prevent something. Like who could you just kind of tap on the shoulder to not do that, and then it would change. I
Um,
think about that sometimes.
yeah, I
You know
mean,
what I mean? There's a lot of countless things you can
yeah,
think
but
of.
if you the whole butterfly effect though, if you
That's the one element you gotta be careful of, right? Like, maybe changing history, it's gonna be worse. You never know.
Yeah.
I think if I had a time machine, man, I must admit there's probably a couple days in my own life that I'd go back to, right?
Yeah.
Like, I would literally go back to that day because it was a perfect day, which would be the most, like, kind of innocuous day you could guess, but still, I'd probably just go back to that one.
Yeah.
So that's the answer I got for you, man. I can't pin it to one. It's too hard.
I
So,
think but
I know it's a bit of a cop out, but
it's not really, because actually I think the way you thought about it is really good. I think going back and meeting someone from your family that maybe you know, but you don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I always
yeah,
find it interesting
yeah.
when thinking about my grandparents. Actually, I think about this now, say, like with my kids and
Mm,
my own parents, is that they just see them as these old people because that's who they know them as. And obviously, I've known my parents much longer. And so
yes,
I don't really see them as that. It's,
right.
even though
Yes.
that so every now and again, you're like, "Oh, actually, no, you are now." And so, it would be
Yeah,
nice to meet, like, my grandparents when they were younger. I mean, that's such a great shout. Or just
yeah,
if I mean, I
agreed.
don't know of anyone in my family like, my dad tried to trace back our family tree, and I think he
Okay,
just got a bit
yeah.
stuck. He couldn't find any further. In fact, some of my family is over in Canada. I should look into
Right,
that
okay,
more.
there you go. There you go, shit.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think there's all good answers. All good answers. So we have been going for nearly 50 minutes, so we probably should knock it on the head.
Yeah, probably see why.
But yeah, thank you very much for coming on.
It's my pleasure, man. I'm a first time on, but a long time listener. Almost a day oneer, right? Like, I gotta get a T-shirt.
I didn't even know you were a day oneer until because I'd put out quite a lot before I actually saw you, and so I didn't realize you were actually listening, which is nice.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't. I was, yeah, I was tricked. One of our mutual friends, I think it was Don Peden, that said, "Hey, checked out Alex's podcast yet?" And I said, wasn't aware he did one, but it made sense. Native guy, soulful voice of your own. I said, yeah, that's great, and it's been great. It's like you guys don't. It's like the Seinfeld of podcasts, and that's what I love about it. And your listeners might not get it, but that's a compliment. It's like
Yeah,
the
well,
Seinfeld.
thanks. But I mean, what's nice actually is I kind of made it for my mates at home, but the fact that you've listened and enjoyed to every single one with only probably knowing one person on here so far, Susie.
Probably just Susie. Yeah,
Yeah, and enjoying it is great. I mean, that yeah, thanks very much.
my pleasure. Now keep having them on. It's cool to just listen to people trying to make trying to get through. You know what I mean? It's kind
Trying
of
to
me
oh, you
trying
just
to
like
just
listening to
make it
people's
honest.
lives? Yeah.
I
Or
don't
like, what are
know.
you up
Maybe
to?
you're in the middle.
Nothing.
Yeah. What are they up to? Like, what are they doing? Am I doing it right?
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like I am, but maybe they're new. It's great. I think it's cool.
Yeah, no, it's great. Well, thanks as well to everybody that's listening.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
yeah, thank you for
Thanks for the
coming on.
opportunity.
And
All good.
I'll see you soon. Cheers. Thanks.
Ooh, ooh.